What is happening right now in the skies of Tehran and Iran, it is probably the most important event of the last 30 years. Israel started attacking Iran directly from Israeli soil, and that was for retaliation of Iranian attack on Israel on October 1st. In about 3 hours ago, IDF spokesman came out with this message. It was a very short message. It was saying that the Israeli attack started attacking Iran in a very precise manner and is targeting military sites. This message is very important. Let's just hear it together, and then we're going to come back and talk.
In response to months of continuous attacks from the regime in Iran against the State of Israel, right now, the Israel Defense Forces is conducting precise strikes on military targets in Iran. The regime in Iran and its proxies in the region have been relentlessly attacking Israel since October 7th on 7 fronts, including direct attacks from Iranian soil. Like every other sovereign country in the world, the State of Israel has the right and the duty to respond. Our defensive and offensive capabilities are fully mobilized. We will do whatever necessary to defend the State of Israel and the people of Israel.
We have not heard from Iranian officials yet, but as you heard from him, the wording of the message is very important. Right after Iranian attacked in the first time and the second time, if the Iranian felt like they were in a corner and they had to respond. Israel assassinated Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran. And when did they attack? It was in the inauguration day of our new president. I'm an Iranian. I don't know if I mentioned it or not. I'm an Iranian as well. It was humiliating. Iran felt humiliated. Finally, after killing of Hassan Nasrallah in Beirut, Iran, a few days after that, responded with the second wave of missiles. Second wave of missiles, they were way more effective than the first one. But Iran did not hit civilians. So obviously Iran didn't want to start a war, but it just didn't want to look weak too. They came out right after each one of these attacks, first one and the second one, immediately, just a few minutes. They just announced that, okay, we conducted our retaliation and we're done with it. We're good. That's it. If you all don't attack us, we're not going to attack you back. We're not hearing the same message from IDF spokesman, which means they're going to keep going. They're going to keep at it. Iran is not Lebanon. Iran is not Syria. Iran is not Iraq. Iran is not Afghanistan. Iran is a major player in the Middle East. Iran is a major power in the Middle East. Iran has a significant military size of it. So you could say technology-wise it's not as good as Israelis, but they have enough capabilities to defend themselves. They have enough capabilities to attack, do harm to Israel, to the other countries around them. So the significance of this attack and the fact that they seems like they want to keep going at it, it is very important. Iran already promised after the second attack on Israel that if you all attack us back, if you all conduct any kind of attack on our infrastructure, on our people, we will retaliate. We are going to retaliate, and we're going to retaliate hard. So that is very important, because if the attack is major enough that Iran cannot push it under the rug and just say it wasn't a big deal, Iran has to retaliate, and that is not good for anybody. The whole world economy, Iran itself is supplying about 4% of world oil supply, but that's not only what Iran can cut. Iran has a capability cut up to 18% of the world's supply, because everything, like about 18% of world oil supply goes through the Strait of Hormuz, and Iran has the capability to cut off that strait. I'm not saying they're gonna do that, because that's just like a full-out war with the United States and the whole world, but when it comes to the survivability of your country, you're probably going to do the thing. You'll do whatever you can when it comes down to it. I mean, you should not underestimate Iran's capabilities. That's what I'm trying to say. What is happening right now, it is major. It is different than we've seen past 30 years. As I said, I'm an Iranian, so I'm very concerned. I really did not want to see this happening. I don't want any country attacking my country. It is I'm an American citizen as well, but I was born in Iran. I still have a lot of family in Iran. In fact, I actually did call a few of them, but it was too early. I texted them, nobody answered me back. But my father, I called him. I just wanted to make sure. I was pretty sure, like, he's fine, but I just want to hear his voice. So I did call him. I woke him up. He didn't even know, obviously, he was sleeping. I'm very concerned. I'm really concerned, and I really did not want this happen. Like, Iranian officials has not came in front of cameras to see what's going on. Obviously, they're just calibrating their message, because the first message is everything. If they come out really heavy and they say, okay, we're gonna retaliate right away, and if they announce it, they're probably gonna attack back. But if it's a small attack, they probably don't even notice it. Like announce it. It is very important to see what they're gonna say. It is really, really important. I mean, we all heard what the Israeli spokesman said, and I didn't want to hear that. I really did want to hear that. Okay, we've done it. We are the retaliated, and that's it. But we didn't hear that. It is still early morning. None of the officials still came and just say what happened. So we haven't heard from them. It is very important to hear from them. I found a few commentators that they are speaking from inside Iran. One of them is Mohammad Marandi. He's a Iranian professor, and he's a political commentator. So what he says is kind of important. We can just just see how they're thinking, how they're playing it out. So let's just listen to him.
Mohammad Marandi is a professor at the University of Tehran, and he joins us live from there. Thank you very much for your time once again. So we're getting a little bit more information. Obviously, we've heard the confirmation now from the Israelis saying that they have carried out these precise attacks. Can you just take us back? Is this just a result of what happened on October 7, or does this go further back?
Well, again, I have to stress that I have not heard any explosions, but I'm in one part of Tehran. It's a huge city. I've contacted people in different parts of the country online, except for one or two people. They're all asleep. No one has, the one or two people that I've spoken to and the people who I've seen their messages online, there's nothing, so far there's nothing confirmed. That there's some of the explosions may have been surface-to-air defenses. There may have been a place that was struck. I don't know at this stage, but we'll have to wait and see. We did see what the Israeli regime spokesman said. We'll have to wait, though, for some sort of news from Tehran later on. This current phase began with the bombing of the Iranian embassy in Damascus. And after that, the United States, the Europeans, they supported the Israelis in the UN Security Council. So they supported the bombing of the Iranian consulate. And so Iran felt it had to respond, and it did. Then again, the Israeli regime carried out another crime by through the martyrdom of Ismail Haniyeh in Tehran, and a companion of his, and he was in Tehran for the inauguration of the presidential inauguration. He was a special guest of the Iranian president. So the Iranians had to respond again. Why? Because the Iranians felt they had to create deterrence. If they didn't, then the Israeli regime would strike again. So we are where we are. Whatever the Israeli regime did tonight, and I don't know what they've done. I haven't seen anything. It doesn't look impressive, whatever it was. But whatever they've done was not a retaliation. They initiated this. And ultimately, the Iranians will make sure that the Israeli regime is punished. Iran is much stronger than Hamas or Hezbollah or Ansarullah. If the Israeli regime gets into a fight with Iran, the regime will be on the losing end. And the Americans should be very careful, because the Iranians will defend their sovereignty if the Americans get involved. And all its bases in the region and those regimes that host those bases, they will be in deep trouble.
I'm not surprised if Professor Mohammad haven't heard anything, because Iran is a huge country. I mean, Iran is like 636,000 square miles. If you want to compare it to Israel, Israel is about 8,600 square miles. So, I mean, as you guys saw, Iranian attack on Israel could be seen from anywhere in Israel. But Iran is way bigger than Israel. Iran has about 91 million. The population of Iran is 91 million. Israel population is about 9.5 million. So there is a big difference. Al Jazeera had an interview with Professor Fouad Izzadi. We're going to listen to a little bit of his interview, so we can get a sense of how they're thinking about it, how they're going about it.
What is your take on all of this?
You know, what we do know is that Iran air defense systems have been busy this morning. We have had 2 waves of attacks that we know. We don't know if anything was actually hit or not. We don't see any smoke. I was with you about an hour ago. I went to the roof of my house looking for any signs of any attacks. Nothing was visible. So we don't see any smokes. We don't have any videos. But we have about 15 million people living in Tehran, and almost everybody has a smartphone. We haven't seen any videos of anything. So what I can tell you is that the attacks were quite limited, without any signs of hitting anything. As you said, we don't know if we are done or not, but so far so good. No major problems.
And when we were talking earlier, you said you were hearing something above you, which turned out to be the Iranian air defense system. How prepared is Iran? How prepared has it been for an Israeli attack? Israel has huge military and intelligence capabilities, as we saw when it was able to kill Yahya, not just Yahya Sinwar, of course, but Hamas leader in Iran, in a Revolutionary Guard building.
Israelis have been engaging in terrorism for the last 76 years. They have a lot of experience. Iran has experience defending the country. Also, I have a friend that is in Iran's military, and he hasn't gone home for about 3 weeks. So Iran has been preparing for an attack, a third attack by the Israelis. I think what you saw this morning is that those preparations are paying off.
Do you think that Iran has underestimated in any way Israel's capabilities and how prepared it is to reach what it says are its 4 different goals, whether it's to end Hamas in Gaza, whether it's to bring back the captives, to stop Hezbollah, and so forth? Because when it did kill Ismail Haniyeh in Iran, it had also at the time said that this was a message to the rest of the world to know Israel's might, that it's capable. And it also said it will go after anyone, anywhere in the world.
So let's just pray this thing doesn't, turn into a World War III and full-scale war. And let's see what happens. Let's follow the news and hope tomorrow everybody come out, wake up with a, calmer head, everybody chill down. We don't want to see a full-scale war in the Middle East. So let's hope for that. See you all next time.